Welcome back to part two. We are going to continue on with the disappearance of Maura Murray. And the significance of this case is we have the timeline, but there's a significance in this case that it was her case at the age of social media here. But we're gonna continue on and finish on with this episode case in this episode. So there was Maura had researched hotels reservations in Burlington in Snow, Vermont, and her encounter over the telephone before crashing in a car in Woodville. The initial investigation would happen in 2004 to 2005. So from February to June 2004, at 12:36 the following day, February 10th, to be on the lookout report for Mara was issued. Sorry guys, I did like 5 of these already, so my voice is starting to dry out some. But she was reported as wearing a black coat, jeans, and a black backpack. A voicemail was left on Fred Murray's home answering machine at 3:20. That her car had been found abandoned, and that he was working out of state and did not receive the call at 5 p.m. Her older sister contacted her father to tell him about the situation, and he then contacted the Haverhill Police Department and was told that if Maura was not reported safe by the next morning, the New Hampshire Fish and Game Department would start a search. At 5:17, Maura was first referred to as missing by Haverhill police. On February 11th, her father in Haver arrived at dawn in Haverhill. At 8 o'clock p.m., New Hampshire Fish and Game, the Murrays, and the others began the search. A police dog tracked the scent from Maura's glove 100 yards to east of the vehicle from which discovered that lost the scent. This suggested to police that she left the area in another car. Mara's boyfriend and parents arrived in Haverhill, and he was interrogated in private, and then was joined by his parents at questioning. And at 7 p.m., the police said that they believed Mara came to the area either to run away or attempt suicide. Her family believed this was unlikely. Maybe she did just want to escape. I don't know. Back to the case. That was my theory, though. Mara's boyfriend had turned off his cell phone during his flight to Haverhill. At the same time, he received a voicemail that he was believed to sound like Mara sobbing. The call was traced to a calling card from the American Red Cross. On February 12th, her dad and her boyfriend held an evening press conference in Bethlehem, New Hampshire, and the next day the press coverage was published. At 3:05 p.m., the police reported that Mara might be heading to um, Magus Highway area, and she was listed as endangered and possibly suicidal. And the police report also stated that Mara was intoxicated at the crash site, although the bus driver said she did not appear impaired. A week after her disappearance, her boyfriend was interviewed by CNN. Moray's family expanded their search to Vermont, dismayed that authorities may have not been informed of her disappearance. Although that the missing persons report caused some normality handled by the local and state police, the FBI joined the investigation 10 days after. And the FBI interviewed family from Massachusetts, and Haverhill police chief announced the search was now nationwide. 10 days after her disappearance, the New Hampshire Fish and Game conducted their second ground and air search. Using a helicopter with a thermal imaging camera, tracking dogs, and cadaver dogs. Her sister discovered a ripped pair of woman's underwear laying in the snow in a secluded area near French Pod Row, but DNA found the underwear did not belong to her. At the end of February, The police returned the items found in Maura's car to her family, and on March 2nd, the family checked out of their hotel. Exhausted from the search, Fred returned nearly every weekend to continue searching. In April, Haverhill police informed him of complaints of trespassing on private property. Then on March 2004, the disappearance of Brianna Maitland in Montgomery, Vermont, 66 miles away from her last sighting, drew comparisons to media and law enforcement similarities in disappearance. However, the state police believe they have no links between the case. In April, in June, and again in June, the New Hampshire and Vermont police dismissed any connection between Maura's case and Matlin's case. And in a press release, they stated that Maura was headed for an unknown destination that may have accepted a ride to continue the location. So from July 2004 to December 2005, an analysis retrieved the items found in Maura's vehicle in a family forensics analysis. On July 13th, a 1 mile radius search was performed for nearly 100 searchers. Um, Authorities were also interested in locating the black backpack Maura had in their possession. In the late 2004, a young man allegedly gave Maura's father a rusty stained knife that belonged to the man, his brother, who had a criminal past and lived less than a mile from the area where the car was discovered. And her brother and her brother's girlfriend, family members. In 2005, Fred Murray petitioned New Hampshire Governor Craig Benson for help in the search and appeared on the Montel Williams shows in 2004. Publicized the case, and on February 9, 2005, the first anniversary of her disappearance, a service was held where the car was found, and her father met briefly with the New Hampshire Governor John Lynch. In late 2005, Fred filed a suit against several law enforcement agents with the aim to see fouls in the case. And on November 1st, 2005, a user named Tom Davies logged into the message board called Not Without Peril, where in which was dedicated to discussion, and claimed to have a black backpack behind the restroom in Prescasket Overlook, about 30 miles east of Woodville, 112. Senior Assistant Attorney Jeffrey Selzen stated law enforcement was aware of the backpack but did not disclose whether it had been taken for forensic evidence. More searches would happen between 2006 and 2010. The New Hampshire League of Investigators, 10 retired police officers, and detectives in the Molly Fish Foundation started working on the case. Tom Shamshak, a former police officer and a licensed private detective of Massachusetts. In October 2006, volunteers led a 2-day search within a few miles of where Maura's car was found, in the closet of an A-frame approximately 1 mile from the closet site. Maura's case was one of the most cited by prominent proponents of the statewide cold case unit for New Hampshire in 2009. Her case was added to the newly established cold case unit later that year. In 2010, Fred Murray publicly criticized the police investigation for treating this disappearance as a missing person case and not a criminal matter, and called the FBI to join the investigation. Further developments from 2011 to present. In 2014, the 10th anniversary of her disappearance, stated that we haven't found any credible sightings of Maura since that night. And on February 9, 2000 17, the 13th anniversary of her disappearance, wrote that it's still an open case within periods of time it goes dormant. In February 2019, on the 15th anniversary, he reiterated his belief that his daughter was dead, and as well as suspicion about the nearby house that cadaver dogs responded to it. And he believes that's his daughter. In early 2021, the tree at the site where Maura was last seen was marked with a blue ribbon as a memorial. On September 14, 2021, New Hampshire State Police announced the bone fragments had been found in Loon Mountain in Lincoln, New Hampshire, approximately 40 miles east of Maura's crash. Maura had been in the mountain before the area. It had knowledge of the area, according to his sister. In January 2022, the FBI issued an alert that Maura's case created a violent criminal apprehension profile, allowing multiple law enforcement information regarding her case. In July 2022, law enforcement in New Hampshire initiated a search of the towns Loudcap and Easton. Here is the significance of her case. Her disappearance has been cited as the first crime mystery of social media age, and generated many speculations in media, specifically to the internet and forum messages. Writing in a Boston magazine in 2014, and that there was not at this keep in mind at this time there was not YouTube, there was not Twitter. Um and on the day Maura went missing, Facebook was only 5 days old. Keep that in mind. But her case has received media attention and been on shows like 2020, The Montel Williams Show, Nancy's Grace's Cold Case, Newsweek, 17 Magazine, The New Yorker, Rolling Stone, and a few dozen local newspapers as well. In her 2009 the case, Maura's case so that Brooke Warburger, who went missing in Oregon a few months after Maura's disappearance, was later found murdered. Was the subject of the season 6 and the first season of episodes of Disappeared, the Oxygen produced network. But Maura, if you're out, but Maura, if you're out there, we hope you can come home safely. But as for that, if you have any help, any tips on where she might be, please let police know. Any help is vital in helping this family get closure they need.